So, what is going on, guys? It's Randall 419, the Man with the Million, and we're going to do a little special impromptu podcast today after some of the positive feedback I got from my buddy DOA, who was on the podcast before Jez on Tuesday talking about his E3 experience. So, I figure I grab a couple of my friends. It was supposed to be 3 or 4, but unfortunately, one idiot decided to build his PC today, Gopher. So, he might join later, but probably not because he's an idiot. But I got DOA back again to talk about some of his experiences. What's going on, DOA? That's your cue to talk, by the way.
Well, who cares about him? I'm doing great, Rand.
And there we go. We have Mr. Black Magic. What's going on, man?
What's up?
I know. So
I'm the only friend you can rely on these days, apparently.
Apparently, I got Gopher deciding to build a new PC 2 hours before we're supposed to do a podcast, and DOA literally talking and now dropping out of the show. And the only one I can rely on now is Magic.
That's all you need.
So I know, but truthfully, all you really need, because all DOA is going to talk about is Destiny, anyways.
Who cares about that?
We're going to talk about FanFest, your experience there, what you saw, how well they took care of you, and the games you got to play. Because this was your first trip to E3.
Yes, it was. First trip to LA in years as well. I've been there before, but it was when I was a kid going to, Disneyland. I'm used to the cold, Midwestern like you. It was hot as shit out there.
Yeah, I can imagine. When I went out there last year, it was okay. But it wasn't terribly hot, though, this time, though, right?
No, not super bad, but, hotter than it is here in Minnesota.
Right. Are you back now, DOA?
Yep.
Can we rely on you this time?
I hope so. No, as soon as we were starting,
right.
Magic was like, well, you might as well go ahead and start it. And then I hear click and nothing. It was dead silence. I was like, I don't think that's good.
Well, like I was saying, I got you both here. I also, we were supposed to get Gopher on here as well, and Inferno to talk about some of the E3 stuff, the FanFest experience that Microsoft put on for you guys, as well as some of the games you played on the show floor. I figured, everybody's talking about Crackdown, but not many people have actually played Crackdown or Wolfenstein 2 or Destiny 2, so we'll all talk about that a little bit later. But for now, talk about, well, DOA, talk about when you decided that you guys both of you decided you wanted to do. Well, DOA's gone again. Jesus Christ! All right, Magic. When did you decide you wanted to go to E3? When they said like, hey, we're opening up to the public?
As soon as they said they're opening up to the public, and I saw the price, I wasn't sure up until the point where like I got in the queue to wait for my ticket. And once, you had to wait like 30 minutes or whatever until it says you're up and you have, 30 minutes to purchase the order. And when my time was up, I was like, all right, I'm getting it. It's done. We're going. I pretty much, as long as I knew DOA was going for sure, which he said he was, then I was in, because I knew I'd be able to split a hotel with him, make the cost a little bit easier.
Right. And that was pretty much the same way for you, right? DOA is like, as soon as the tickets were going to be on sale, you figured, you, Magic, and maybe Gopher would all be able to go together, right?
Yep.
Essentially.
Yeah, we were all over it. In fact, probably overkill. We were there like to the minute, but tickets were still on sale for a couple of days. I was like, oh, well, that was a waste. Glad I got up early for that.
Yeah, and you all basically got into FanFest as well, got into the raffle system.
Yep.
Which was cool. And it sounds like this was a really cool FanFest, especially in comparison to the one I went to last year. So how did that let go? I know, DOA, you landed, like, you had to be on a bus or something at, like, noon or like, go through that whole stuff. Like, what exactly?
Well, everybody had to be on the bus, but the difference is that I was landing really late. Like, my plane did not even land until 10:10. So that was cutting it a little close for me because, you got to get off D-board. I got to get to the hotel because you can't bring your suitcase to the FanFest, so I got to stop by the hotel and drop my bag off with the bellhop, and then take another cab over to where we're meeting up. So I was cutting it kind of close, but it all worked out. Luckily, everything was on time, so basically all good.
But
yeah, that Sunday was very hectic for me too, because right like me and Gopher landed at pretty much the same time. We went and dropped off our bags at the hotel, and then where did we went and got our because we got into Bethesda. Me and Gopher luckily got into the Bethesda press conference as well, so we went to go pick up our tickets for that, and then we headed straight to FanFest. And I mean, we probably dropped off our bags at the hotel at maybe 9. We didn't get back to the hotel until like 11, 10:30. It was just it was an all day, just nonstop event after event. I was super tired that night.
So what was the so they round you up in these like buses and they ship you off to somewhere like super secret, right? And you get there. What exactly was at this first event you went to? I remember seeing like a Crackdown donut wall or some shit.
Yeah, there was
I
a
remember
wall
seeing
with
pictures of that.
donuts. It was like a Crackdown. You know, they're supposed to be like orbs, so it's like a light blue. Maybe like I don't even remember the other colors. Do you remember? There's one with like sprinkles was brown or something. They're supposed to be like orbs on a wall, but they're donuts.
I glanced at. I mean, you got to remember when I got there, I ran in, got my badge, went, grabbed my T-shirt, and then I was pretty much out the door. And y'all were mad at me because I snuck out and I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Before we get to that, but yeah. So there was food for breakfast, and then there's like music, and there the FanFest T-shirts. If you saw anyone in the pictures, you saw everyone was wearing that same like I was a witness to the beast or whatever, the most powerful console ever. Everyone got those T-shirts, and you can get your name like stamped on it.
Yeah, I did do that. That was like the one thing I did besides pick up my pass was I got my name stamped, and so did you.
Yeah.
And we also had met Vendetta at that point. He kind of met up with us in line to get our T-shirts stamped.
Well, yeah, there was a bunch of people there. I mean, we saw V, we saw Inferno, Tim Dog. Who else was there? South was there. Jeremy was there.
Well,
Yeah, the
Maka.
downer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you got to remember,
Maka.
I didn't see a lot of these people yet because I was kind of running in. Like I found Magic, and then Magic basically showed me like, over here, this is where your badge is at, this is where you get a shirt printed, and then I wanted to do that, so he just kind of stood with me. At that point, Magic was like the only person I had seen because I got there pretty late.
Yeah, but when it was time to line up for the buses, like the guy kind of announced it like, okay, we're gonna, get ready to go to the buses, but it wasn't like a stampede yet. It was like, okay, in the next 20 minutes or so. And Maka and all those guys were already outside, and I'm sitting here showing DOA all over. And so when we're ready to go, me,
Yeah.
V, and DOA like walk to the door, and the guy's like, "Oh, you guys can't go. We're starting to form a line." Like there was already a line outside, but the guy inside wanted to like stop everyone from just bum rushing outside. And DOA just fucking slips right by the guy, like it's like no one, the guy didn't even pay any DOA any mind, and then he stops me and Vendetta.
Well, that's not quite what happened, but it was close. What really happened was I was walking out with Magic and V, and before I walked out, I was like, "Wait, is there a drink around here?" Because I was like dying of thirst. I hadn't had a drink in forever, and they pointed over there. So they didn't walk with me for whatever. I go to get a drink, come back, didn't see them, and I also, as a smoker, I wanted to go smoke. It's been a while, so I just there was like 5 guys blocking the door. I just slid out right between them, and then it was like Gopher and Maka immediately waved. I'm like, "Oh hey," and then I was like, "Where the fuck are Magic and Vendetta?"
Racism.
Yeah, they stopped.
V's Asian and I'm black, and he's just like, "Oh, white guy going out, no problem." Nah, it was cool though. We all were sitting next to each other. Like that bus was to go from there to the Galen Center, and and they had like Phil come up. Damn, I'm blinking on the guy's name from who runs FanFest though. What's his name?
Chris Munson.
Yeah, Chris. He was talking. Mike was talking. They had a couple people come up and Aaron.
Well, yeah, Greenberg was up there a bunch.
Well, what did they say to you guys? Was it more like, hey, just bring the energy for the show, thanks for coming, stuff like that?
Yeah, thanks, and talking about engaging with the community and just getting people pumped up and riled up for the show. It was just like an in between, from when we got into the Galen Center, sit down for a minute before they start lining us into the actual where the convention was taking place. Yeah,
to seat us. It was just like to kind of the hype up, hype everybody up and then bring you out there.
Although we had to wait for an hour once we got out there. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody
But
else
was
got,
there
like,
was there
free.
really like nothing to do there besides like eat the Crackdown donuts and like get a new T-shirt? And was it kind of just like a hangout area for like a mingling kind of thing, pretty much?
Well, that was back at the actual FanFest place. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about the Galen Center now, where we were,
Right.
where Aaron
Oh, yeah,
and
then they
Bill and
should
all
do,
them
like,
were. That was
Galen
all at the
Center.
Galen Center.
Oh yeah, because that was in the gym, right? It's like a basketball
There is
gym.
this guy too, man. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows him, but there is this guy that was just, I mean, I've never seen someone so pumped up. Like this dude was
Oh God.
the biggest Xbox fan I've ever seen. Like in terms of like energy and vocals, like way more than Tim. Tim wasn't anything compared to this dude. This guy was insane. Like when Chris was talking about like, oh, you know, and thank you guys for coming out, and he was like, you're welcome. And he's live streaming. This dude was live streaming on his phone. It must have been what like Facebook Live or something like that. Like streaming on his phone the entire day, man. The entire day.
Well, yeah, he was streaming right up to the point that the show basically started.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. The
sitting
midnight
in the seat.
in the chat knows him. Yeah, the big dude. He's just holding his phone and just recording, streaming the entire time. Like I said, when we got to where the actual convention center was, we had to wait an hour before the show started. So we're sitting in our seats, like, you know, down there in the middle, right near the stage. But we had to wait an hour. The dude was streaming the entire time, and like you could see if you go back and listen to the press conference, like go watch it on YouTube, you can probably hear the dude cheering after like Phil or whoever says something. Almost every time they're like, and we're doing this in 4K, and he's like, yes. The dude is just hyped all day. It was so funny.
No, I listened to the first 10 minutes of it. I went back and watched it, and there were parts you could hear him clearly. Like nobody else is even cheering, and he's like, "Yeah!"
Yeah.
So we've officially found the best or the biggest Xbox fan. We thought it was Tim Dog, but apparently not.
No, this dude was hyped the entire day.
You guys did meet out and hang out with Tim. How was Tim? Because Tim's been a big supporter of mine since I met him. What are your thoughts on the one and only Beastfire Tim Dog?
I mean, I didn't get to talk to him for too long. I met up. It was kind of funny. I saw him when we got there in the morning at FanFest, and I said what's up to him and everyone else that was there, and he didn't even know who I was. I was just like saying what's up real quick, and then went to grab something to eat because I was starving, and he was just like, oh yeah, hey, hi. But you know, he just thought it was some random guy saying what's up. And then I talked to him later, and he's like, oh, I didn't even know that was you. But no, but Tim's always cool. I've liked Tim.
Yeah, no, I liked him a lot. I got to hang out with him a decent amount because him and Jeremy were with me when we did that like 4K presentation thing. So we were all sitting together up there, and that thing I told you was like 45 minutes to an hour long. So yeah, he's a cool guy. Jeremy was very cool too.
The downer
himself. I liked everybody. There was nobody there really that I was like, oh god, this person sucks. You know, it's like everybody's great. You know.
So when they brought you out for the conference, where'd you guys sit in relation to like Phil on stage? Were you to his right? Were you to his left?
We were right in the middle, but if you're looking at Phil, we're on the far
looking
right
at Phil,
side.
like directly.
We're in the middle, but on like the right side of the aisle. Yeah.
It was basically 3 sections. You had the left, middle, and right. So we were in the middle section on the far right side of the middle section, kind of.
Yeah. And kind of.
But I mean, it's all close. You know, like we were actually towards the back of it, but that's still really close. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, I think.
How was that giant 4K screen they put up there in the middle? Did that look like really good when you guys were watching it from your seats?
Oh yeah,
yeah, it looked great.
Oh, yeah, it looked great. Of course, look way better than it would for you on YouTube.
No, I mean, okay, so I watched the conference on Mixer 1080p, and it looked great. Like you could tell, like Forza 7 looked phenomenal. And then I rewatched the conference in 4K, and I was like, oh shit, like it looked a lot better in 4K. So real fast. I mean, well, not real fast. You know, since nobody really knows your guys' thoughts on the press conference, you might as well give them now. Magic, what'd you think of their overall press conference?
Well, I said this after I watched it, and I think I'm still about the same. Is I was mixed. I liked that it was focused on games. I liked a lot of the games I saw. Assassin's Creed Origins looked great. Um, the Metro Exodus, Anthem. I thought The Last Night looks actually really good. And a couple other ones. So I like that. But at the same time, I wish they would have had some more AAA exclusives and new IPs, a new AAA IP.
Mm-hmm.
I've been wanting that for a couple years now, so it's kind of disappointing that I didn't get to see that yet again. So maybe next year I'll get that. But so yeah, so I'm about mixed.
I mean, what do you think about Sea of Thieves? Because me and you played that. I know we're kind of still under NDA, but I mean,
Well, yeah, I can't.
Are you interested in playing that game when it comes out next year?
It depends. It depends on what they provide you to do in the game. Because I was kind of mentioning that on Twitter the other day. Like, people always point to Minecraft when they talk about these games where it's like, oh, do whatever you want. And they always look at Minecraft. For one, Minecraft is like the top example of that genre. And it's a ridiculously huge game, right? So you can't really point to that and just be like, oh, Minecraft can do it. It's like, yeah, but Minecraft is the absolute top tier. There's plenty of other games that try and copy Minecraft that don't sell anything, right? You could be one of them. You're not necessarily going to be Minecraft. But at the same time, think about all the stuff in Minecraft. Like, you have all of the items you can craft. You have all the tools. You have all the different types of materials and buildings and all that stuff you can, you know what I mean? You have infinite amount of things you can build, just limited by your creativity. The maps go on forever and they're always random. It's like they give you the tools to do whatever you want. So any game like that, it comes down to what tools are you giving me to allow me to do whatever you want, It's like I said yesterday on Twitter, I compared it to a playground. It's like you can have a playground that's just a big box of sand, or you can have a playground with a slide and a jungle gym and swings and a tire and 10 other things. It's like, yeah, go do whatever you want with all this stuff that I'm giving you. And I just worry it's going to be another No Man's Sky situation. I hope not, but I think they need to really try hard to avoid a situation like that, like a No Man's Sky.
DOA, well, you're probably not. You're not in, and if it's not Destiny, DOA doesn't care, right? Pretty much.
Oh, shut up. What are you talking about? Like, what you guys, my opinion on the show itself?
No, I mean, since Magic was talking about Sea of Thieves, I figure you can talk about Sea of Thieves.
Well, I never played Sea of Thieves. Y'all did. I mean, just based off what I saw, I don't know. I wasn't very excited for it, but a lot of people seem to be. So more power to them. I mean, I'm not rooting against the game just because I'm not interested in it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's kind of ho hum for me. I mean, the show itself, I'm kind of like Magic. It was a mixed bag. There wasn't any big. I mean, yeah, Ori's great. I love Ori, but I'm personally very excited. But I don't think Ori is going to move a shit ton of systems. It's the same with Super Lucky Tail. Forza is Forza. I mean, it was coming, so I was kind of disappointed that there wasn't anything bigger, I guess you would say. It's mostly like, here's a bunch of third-party stuff or a bunch of stuff that you already saw last year, and it's just like a new trailer for it.
Okay, but how would you... All right, normally... Well, not this year or last year. Normally, we would watch the conferences together, basically, since when I first met you guys, 10 years ago, right? Not 10 years ago, 9 years ago, because I think we started hanging out in 2010, so 7 years ago or something like that.
2009.
But normally, we would always watch all the conferences, in Xbox Live Party, right? But how is it different actually being there? Because I was there last year, and I think it influenced me saying it was a good show. But for you guys, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that don't get the privilege to go. What's it actually like being there versus just watching on your computer?
It's huge, I think. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to do that every single year versus, sometimes mixing in just watching it from the comfort of my own home or wherever I'm at. But the sound played a huge role for me. I mean, all the trailers just boom, every type of explosion. I was sitting right next to DOA, and there's a couple times where he had to plug his ears because the noise was just going crazy in that auditorium.
Yeah, the bass just like
Yeah.
shaking my ear. I'm like, God, I'm like plugging my left ear. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, jeez, calm down just a
So some
tad,
of the
please.
trailers just get amplified so much by that sound that, yeah, I mean, it makes it much more impactful than if you're just watching at home. But at the same
Yeah, I
time,
think
we're sitting on brick chairs, which that was hurting my ass.
Brick chairs. I saw some of the chairs were like comfy couches. You guys
Not
didn't have
mine.
those?
No, not mine.
that was in the front. You're talking about this
I
Mm.
white
know
one?
Gopher agrees too.
Oh.
My ass was hurting when I got up at the end of that press conference. That thing was hard as shit.
So what do
The
you think either
seating
way?
didn't bother me, but yeah, I mean, it's much more visceral. You know, I mean, it's more intense. Obviously, it makes it more exciting. I mean, had I watched that same conference at home, I probably would have been far less impressed. You know, like, ugh, where is everything? You know, but being there does amplify. I mean, Ori's huge for me. So Ori, obviously, I'm going to get an X when it comes out. I mean, the third party stuff looked great, but the problem is it's third party stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, Origins look great, Anthem look great, but you want to see some exclusives, and none of that's exclusive. So,
But they might be coming. But anyway, like I know me and you love Ori, so like Ori's the best game that I saw at E3.
And PUBG is huge.
PUBG is huge. That game's going to be
that-
massive.
Yeah.
that's the one thing they put up there that I'm like, that'll move systems. You know, just having that first.
I wonder how they're going to get that to run on the regular Xbox One, though. Like, not the X obviously can run it, but like, how are they going to get PUBG to run on a regular Xbox One?
You think it's that demanding?
Well, I mean, you see quick. I mean, you watch Ibarra play that stuff, and you see like the PC, the monster PC he put together for that game. Like,
Well, I don't think he put it together for that game. He
oh,
put
you knowing him, and you know he did. Come on.
well, I just mean that he didn't need to go that extreme just for PUBG. He went that extreme because that's what he does.
That's true. That's what. No, but I think PUBG. I think we talked about this last night. I think it's going to be massive when it comes to Xbox.
I think the only issue they might run into is controls and UI, because if you watch people play that on PC, they fly through the menus with keyboard and mouse.
They definitely do fly through the menus. So overall, you guys thought the conference was okay, not as good as it could have been, right? Essentially, you both kind of wanted to see a new IP from Microsoft, which was kind of my biggest disappointment.
Well, yeah, I mean, they ended the show on a third party, so.
But it did look good, and you do love Destiny, and it's supposed to be the Destiny-like game, so sign you up for 10 years.
It had the loot and everything. No, I mean, like I said, I told you the third-party games look great. It's just they're third party, and when you're watching an Xbox conference, I'm hoping to see some exclusives. You know, I mean, seeing Anthem, EA, that's great. You know, that's awesome. In fact, I'm surprised EA even gave it to Microsoft. They desperately needed it. Their show was lackluster.
Well, I heard they paid a large amount of money to get that game on their stage first, but you know, I think that probably would have been more of an impactful announcement if you didn't see like that teaser trailer at EA and they're like, by the way, tune in tomorrow.
Yeah,
to see it. Like if it was just the end of the show with Anthem and you didn't know what the heck it was, you know? Like,
well, yeah, because you know how when we were watching Ubisoft in the last couple of years, and you always had that game where it's like, what is this? What is this? You know, you don't really have that kind of element of surprise with Anthem that you easily would have had if it wasn't for EA teasing it first.
Yeah. So after the conference, what would they do? Where would they shuffle you guys off to?
Back to the same FanFest location that we were at in the morning.
But they altered it.
Yeah, they altered it.
Yeah, the Crackdown thing was gone, and they put a nice big open bar right in the center that wasn't there before.
An open bar, huh?
Yeah, and then they had some OG Xbox games to play, like Crimson Skies, Halo 1. What was it?
That was actually pretty cool. They had set up. He's right. They set up some OG Xbox. They had Crimson Skies running on like the OG Xbox, and then right next to it, they had Crimson Skies running on an Xbox One S to show the backwards compatibility, and to also show that it actually had some self improvements just running on that system. It looked better. You could definitely tell it looked better on the S. So that was kind of a nice little comparison they did.
So okay, that's a good transition thing. We'll come back to what you guys did here because I know you got some cool stuff and saw some cool things, but the announcement of OG Xbox back compat.
Mm-hmm.
How on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I don't give a fuck, and 10 being like, oh, I can't wait immediately as soon as these games are released, I'm playing that. How would that announcement rate for you?
7.
What?
It would. Now here's why. It would have been a 10, but there's no Xbox Live.
Well, yeah. See, that's my
That's
my
the big
issue.
problem. Yeah, they're not turning Xbox Live back on for those OG games. So it's like Crimson Skies, yes, but I can't play online. Fuck. You know.
Yeah,
that kind of hurt it. Same. Like, think of all the Halo 2 fans out there.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'd probably jump back in for some matches of Halo 2, but or even if they brought Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, some Spies versus Mercs, I'd jump back into that. But I might for single player. For Splinter Cell, that's about the only one.
So what would be on a scale of 1 to 10 for you, Magic? What'd you say?
It'd be pretty low. I don't know.
It'd be like a 2, maybe.
Yeah.
2.
4. I'm not big into backwards compatible games. And it's not even like 360 original Xbox. I'm not big into like current gen old games. Like if it's a game that I missed like 2-3 years ago, I probably won't even go back to that, let alone one that's been, that's 15 years old. I don't know. It's a weird thing with me. Like if I miss it, all right, it's just old. It's like I just don't bother going back for the most part.
Yeah, plus I saw Yubara say on Twitter that they won't have Xbox achievements, obviously, because they weren't included in it. So that's probably going to be,
and that'd be something that would entice me to go back. But
I think it would entice a lot of people. But
yeah,
it's just going to be those games.
It'd be interesting playing Chaos Theory or like Pandora Tomorrow, but with achievements. That'd be cool.
Well, it gets a 7 from me just so I can play Ninja Gaiden again.
That Tim DM'd me and he said he was listening in and laughing about that guy that you said was the biggest fan. And he said, he asked me, he's like, asked him if he had a hat on. He's like, yeah, he had a hat on. I believe it's the same guy.
No, dude, everyone knows who this if you're at FanFest, you know who this dude was. He was going ham all night, all day at every event we were at. This dude
look at that.
Hyped up the entire time.
I figure, we got 124 people watching. Shout out to everybody in chat. We got Megatron. We have Silva. We got Obajon, OBJ as I call him. We got Midnight Eric. What else we got in here? We got Matty J. Whole bunch of people in chat. Sorry if I didn't say your name. Chris Cobra. What's going on, guys? Thanks for hanging out.
That Robert guy in chat is Gopher's friend Bob.
Is it? I had to ban a few people, and of course Sajibot. So, why is Silva's name Silva? Didn't even know that. Like 3 S's.
No idea.
Come on. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. Didn't really know how many people would tune in to listen to us ramble on short notice, but I figured why not do it, because D-Way and Magic have a lot to say, and Magic won't be able to say much in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever, but I'm gonna put a muzzle on him. So what else?
Before the NDA.
Yep. So what else? So back to the FanFest after the conference. Is that where you got your controller DOA? Because I know there's those but they didn't have it there.
The first time I even knew about it was the next day, the Monday night event where you could actually play all the games. And I met up with James. I was talking for him, and then James told me about it. That was when I first found out. But even then, that's not when I didn't make it. And it was like literally the last thing I did, like Wednesday. Last thing I went to go see James and make it. But we can back up to the correct day. But that was like the last thing I did.
So what was there at the event after the conference?
So they had the open bar, OG games. If you saw people with like those FanFest hats, you could get one of those made. There's like 2 different logos they'd press on.
They had the Super Lucky Tail thing where they were giving out the capes. And
Sure
on like
Maka actually had a pretty funny one. He put up a video today talking about his 10 favorite games that he played at E3, and he showed that clip in the beginning of it. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like this. It was like a green screen behind you, and you get on a rope and you pretend like you're swinging through the air or something. They have like a fan going, and then they make a little clip of you, and it looks like you're in the game.
They have any free food?
Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
What,
I was like,
Doritos and Mountain Dew?
No
What?
joke. I was like, "What? Am I Jeff Keighley here? Come on, dude, Doritos. What's going on?" But they did have two food trucks outside that were free, like they're part of the event, so you could get whatever for free.
And one of them was a Taco Bell food truck.
Yeah, that's what Midnight Eric said. That's free Taco Bell, baby. Free Taco Bell.
That was the first time I've ever seen a Taco Bell food truck. I was like, this is blasphemy. You guys get out of this. You ain't supposed to be in the food truck game.
Way to stereotype all gamers, Microsoft, at a gaming event. Here you go, some Doritos and Mountain Dew, right? That's what you guys eat, right?
All day, every day. They did have a Korean food
now.
truck out there that was really good. I had the dust bomb chicken. It was awesome.
But you guys both got your T-shirts with your gamer tags on it. Like how?
Yeah,
like
and the hats.
You have gone there and be like, by the way, put Randall Thor 19 on that tag on that shirt. How they know it was you?
No, they had a badge. Pre-made.
You had a badge, and your badge was had your gamer tag on it, and then they had everyone's gamer tag already printed. So you show them your gamer tag, and then they grab the print of your gamer tag already. Yeah. They didn't just.
I bet DOA was one of the few people there with the 3-letter gamer tag, just DOA. Right?
Well, no, I saw some good ones. I mean, obviously Vendetta is a good tag, and I remember I saw somebody named like his gamer tag was like Hacker or something. That was pretty good, like Just Hacker.
Just Hacker.
Yeah, I was like, that was pretty good.
Hey, I'm not worried about the food, man. I just wanted to know.
Hey, me and Gopher were out there to eat some good food in between the gaming. We were super busy though, so we didn't get to too much. But
I can't believe Gopher wanted to do this. He's like, yeah, it'd be so great. He's wanted to do podcasts with me before, and he fucked it up. I almost think this is intentional. Like he got scared or some shit for doing. You didn't want to do a podcast live. I can't believe he didn't show up. I'm actually very disappointed in him.
And then so at the end of the night on Sunday, we all got these huge swag bags with a ton of shit in them.
Actually, if you want, maybe I can turn my camera on and show you some of this stuff.
Yeah, if you want, go ahead.
Yeah, hold on. I might have to take my headset off and get it, but while Magic's talking, I'll grab some stuff.
Yeah, but then, so while we're waiting for, there we go. Well, there's DOA.
Well, I still got to get up. Hold on.
Look at that Fight Club poster.
Damn right.
Jesus. You went to the Bethesda conference, though. You went with Gopher and Maka after everything, right?
So after FanFest was over Sunday night, we went straight to Bethesda, and they had a really cool setup. It was like it was kind of like a carnival theme. They're going with that whole Bethesda land thing, so it's like a like a theme park. They had like a lot of really creative food that kind of matched some of their games, and these like weird drinks that they looked like Nuka-Cola from Call of Duty to me. They're like, I don't know. The one I had was like blue, weird blue drink.
And it wasn't any good?
Like Quake Champions playable. I want to say there was something else playable as well. I didn't even play anything though.
Well, because you left because there was nowhere to sit, right?
Well, no. So we got there early before it started. And so then we were just kind of hanging out. And then once the press conference was getting ready to start, they opened up these big doors, and then everyone like walked towards the stage where the people would come out and talk, and they'd have like the screen behind them. But only press could sit down on these bleachers that were like up above, where everyone else, if you weren't press, you had to just stand in front of the stage, which sucked because me, Gopher, and Maka were all super tired by the end of that whole day of FanFest activities. And so it's like, all right, stand here for an hour for our press. I mean, it turned out to be shorter. Their press conference was only like half an hour, but yeah, it was like stand here for a whole press conference, tightly in this big group of people.
Right. And DOA, you're back. You got some goodies to show off. What you got?
I won't be able to show you everything. I grabbed some stuff. So I got a bunch of shirts. Got this one. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, what is that?
This is a Code Vein.
Oh, it's a pretty cool shirt.
Very red with some.
I don't see you ever wearing it though. Okay.
I'd wear it. This one. Hold on. Oh, this one wasn't from FanFest. This was a Lawbreakers shirt. Got from playing Lawbreakers.
How could you, dude? Cliffy B turned his back on Xbox gamers, man.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? We still played Lawbreakers. Here's the FanFest shirt. that we were all talking about with my gamer tag on it. Right there. Got it stenciled right on the front. I don't know how well you can see that.
Mm-hmm. DOA,
So,
nice.
this one was cool because I was talking to James and they started throwing shirts from the stage, and James was like, "That was awesome," because I just kind of stuck my hand up, and I guess the guy saw me at like the perfect time. He threw it right at me, and I snatched it one-handed. It was the "It's a Monster" shirt. Hopefully,
Ooh, and you haven't even worn that yet.
Yeah, I haven't worn this. I have worn
a
couple of these.
You should get that. It's a monster, and then get it like an arrow pointing down.
If you thought about that, it's like I don't know if I can wear this shirt. Everybody's gonna think I'm talking about my dick. Like,
I wore my Destiny shirt the other day. You would have been proud.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's in the dirty clothes right now. But from playing the Destiny demo, I got a Destiny shirt.
We were there for 4 days, and DOA I think wore 3 Destiny shirts.
Yep.
Was that the backpack? This
is the FanFest backpack. It's a great. I can't show you the hard drive because it's actually hooked up to the Xbox right now. But there was like a 2 terabyte hard drive we got that had the whole FanFest logo on it, and it had like Project Scorpio stenciled on it and shit. So we got a whole bag of crap right here. So got a whole bunch of hats. There's the Crackdown hat. There's the Tekken hat that I thought was rather random. Hopefully you're seeing this okay. A Mixer hat.
That's pretty cool.
And this is the FanFest hat Magic was talking about, where we had this was actually printed on. We could have gotten this, or we could have gotten like just the generic Xbox symbol if we wanted to instead of that. Here's the actual lanyard for going. Sorry, I switched to this Xbox when it originally came with a Nintendo Switch one, as far as the actual strap went. But I was like, fuck that, I'm repping Xbox. And this is the pin I told you about. This like the Scorpio pin with my gamer tag engraved.
Point it down a little bit because it's reflecting. I can't see the name on it. Well, you got to talk so it picks up your image.
Lag, so it just kind of, you'll just have to tell me. But that's it. That's the Scorpio pin. I don't. And then there's just like a whole shit ton of random stuff in here, like a Sea of Thieves napkin, Super Lucky Tails pin, which is kind of cool. James gave me a whole bunch of these like Xbox controller pins. They're like for all the new colors. We got some shades for Minecraft that I'll never ever wear.
Yeah, you need those for Minecraft in 4K. You burn your eyes out.
Lanyard you actually were supposed to wear with your E3 badge, but I was like, fuck that, Xbox, not Nintendo. And some other random ones, Gears of War, stuff like that. I don't know, just a bunch of random shit. There's some stickers and whatnot, little Halo toy. That's basically it. And also there was a headset, which I can grab. Hold on.
Yeah, you guys got a headset too, which is pretty cool. You've been using that lately.
The headset's cool too because it has Dolby Atmos. It supports Dolby Atmos, and it gives you an activation code. Because I think right now, if you want to use Dolby Atmos, like you go to the app, and you can get like a month free, but after that, you have to like pay. I don't know if it's monthly or yearly, but it's like $15.
I put up the headset again, do and talk so they can see it.
No, well, Magic was talking. I didn't want to interrupt, but this was the headset. I already opened it. It's pretty nice. I know Magic's it's better than the Xbox first party one I had. Still not as good as like 850s or whatever, but not bad, pretty good. And the hard drive is nice because I didn't have a external, and Rand's giving
that is really cool. So like those are because like you have a lot of games, I have a lot of games, Magic has a lot of games. I have a 4 terabyte external and a 1 terabyte external plus the internal stuff. But then I think I have more games than you. But you and Magic were always like, I want to download this game, but which game?
I never said that. I never said that.
Yeah,
maybe 6 years ago I said that. I haven't said that recently. You're gonna need it though, man. Forza, they're talking about the new Forza is gonna be 100 gigs. You better get some space going.
Well, that's because of the 4K, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's gonna become standard soon here. Sooner than they think.
Yep. So the hard drive though, it's pretty nice. It's got like Project Scorpio on the front. Like it seems like it's only like 500 of them made or whatever. For how many people were at FanFest?
Yeah, it has like the Xbox FanFest logo engraved on it.
So Monday night
now because
Monday night, Matt, or you went back to the hotel because you're like fuck Bethesda. And
Well, you didn't get in, so.
well, yeah, but sure enough,
No, I didn't get in, but I was tired. Like, I had not slept. The only time I had slept was on the plane, which, if you've ever slept on a plane, you know that's some shitty sleep. So I was quite content to go back to the hotel and put my feet up.
Well, yeah, which I hadn't slept either. So,
right. So that was what? That was all Sunday, right? It was a long fucking day, all that
Yep.
shit. So Monday,
Mhm.
where you had, what'd you guys do on Monday? I know there was the event you guys had, and you got to actually play a bunch of games too, but run through the Monday stuff.
a lot of bullshit other than that. We're just hanging out around, hanging out around, LA
Well, I
Live.
was going to tell a story. I was going to say, like, hold on a second.
Go ahead.
But so we get up, and basically the whole day's free until 8 o'clock that evening. So we're like, okay, well, this is our chance. We got to go pick up our E3 badges. So let's head over to the convention center, and we'll just kind of check out everything. And so we take an Uber over there, and we get our badges, and we're having fun for all of 5 minutes, and then Gopher realizes his phone's missing. Did you ever hear the story, Ryan? So he basically has lost his phone. So he grabs an Uber and goes back to the hotel where guess where his phone was not. It was not at the fucking hotel. And we have no way of contacting him now because now he's left us. So after, like, how long do you think, Magic? Hour plus?
Yeah, an hour.
You finally got the idea that it's like, maybe we should call the hotel, call our room. He had left it in the Uber, of course. Oh my God, the slacker. So the day was half ruined because it was just trying to find Gopher again until we eventually met up with him at the Yard House and everybody had drinks. So, but it was a mess. And just walking around LA Live and checking things out. We had a lot of time to kill.
Yeah, we went to Philippe, the Originals, which is like a well-known old place in LA, like the originator of the
downtown.
French dip.
Yeah, they did French dips. It wasn't bad, but didn't seem like it was worth the trip because it actually took a minute to get over there.
Yeah.
And was that the day we went to the Mexican place for dinner, which is where Rand went last year?
Yeah.
It was that night. That place was so good, Rand. Oh my God.
I don't even remember the name. Something like Rosa, something like that. Rosa something. It's in LA Live.
Oh, that place is the best fajitas ever. This is so good.
But yeah, that Monday night event, though, we're basically just killing time doing whatever until that Monday night event, which was a part of FanFest. That was where we got to play everything. And they had what are all the games they had, DOA? Assassin's Creed.
Crackdown. Yeah. Well, as soon as we got in, besides winning that door prize to go get that pin that I already showed you, I booked it straight to Crackdown, and everybody just kind of went with me. So we played Crackdown right away, which was great. The demo, I don't know. There was no real structure to the demo. It was basically like, here, just run around and blow shit up for 10 minutes. It wasn't like, here's this mission, go do that. So I can't speak to any kind of story or anything like that. But the game looked great, and it played great for what we were doing, which was just mayhem shit. What do you think, Magic?
Crackdown, my main thing with Crackdown is I like to start from a scrawny guy and pick up a bunch of orbs and level up my character until the point where you're picking up cars and jump to the tops of buildings. So I just wanted to level up as much as I could in the demo. And I want to say they start you at like agility level 3. And I got to level 5 and it was capped out for the demo. And I still had like 7 minutes left. And I was like, I wanted to max out my agility if I could in the time of that demo, but it was limited. So yeah, and I was just messing around. It looked really good. It plays like Crackdown, but yeah, like you said, it was just a small slice. We didn't have access to any type of missions or the multiplayer or anything like that. It was just running around causing chaos throughout the city.
I didn't, but I remember Vendetta found the black hole gun, which that looked pretty cool. He was shooting like black holes everywhere and sucking people in, so that was pretty sweet. The guns were nice.
Yeah.
They had nice, crazy guns.
What do you say to the people that say the game looks like shit, though? Because there are a lot of people out there that don't like the look of the game, or that it somehow doesn't look good or something.
I don't know, man. It looked like the other two kind of kept the art style just in 4K.
I'd say that sucks for them. I mean, because looks are subjective, right? If the game looks for you, then that's unfortunate. It'd be great if every single game you played looked amazing, but for every person. But that's not the case. So sucks for you. Looks good to me. I don't care what it looks to you.
Well, it's not like it's some indie pixel art game. I mean, I guess
Well,
people who
it's
say they don't look good.
But
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I can only assume people who say they don't like the look of it just don't like cell shaded, just plain and simple. I actually always liked cell shaded, but I like really colorful games. So to me, that's always been an appeal of Crackdown to me, is I've always liked how the series has been very colorful and bright, and you know what I mean, and just crazy.
And that game does a good job at having like a lot of dark buildings, but then they're like accented by these really bright neon colors. I think it's going to look really good with HDR.
Now, one of my disappointments from the show was not that like Crackdown itself, like Crackdown 3, but the way it was presented, and which I wanted to see the destruction. Right, I wanted to see the buildings falling down and stuff like that, but that wasn't present in your demo, right? Like this was
no, that's just in the multiplayer. I was actually kind of hoping we were going to get to go in there and play the multiplayer. I was hoping that was what the demo was going to be, was like 5-on-5, blowing up everybody's shit.
I've been saying that for a while now, like because they kind of hinted at that after E3 last year, that it was only going to be for a certain. Because I mean, it doesn't make sense in single player, right? You can't getting missions and doing story missions and it's like, oh, go to this guy to get your next mission. Oh wait, you blew up the building and everyone's dead. I guess start the game over. It just doesn't even make, this isn't like Red Faction or something. I mean, I guess they could have it where only certain buildings you can destroy, or certain buildings are off limits, but that'd be hard to do in a single player campaign game that's offline, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I misinterpreted it, but I always kind of like thought like, all right, you can play it by yourself, and there would be no destruction. But if you played it like a 4-player co-op, you could do that stuff, but with the buildings all being destroyed. But it's really this 10v10 mode, this multiplayer mode.
I think it's 5v5.
5v5. Because I'm hearing different things. I heard 5v5, but I also heard 10v10 because 5v5 seems pretty small for a. I mean, this isn't like Gears of War.
I'm not 100% sure, but I remember hearing 5v5. I remember that's what I was thinking, but I'm not 100% positive.
Does anybody in chat know?
I mean, they haven't really talked about the multiplayer. I think they're going to talk more and show that off when the Gamescom comes around. But, like, I really wanted to see, because that's, like, the one really unique thing that games got going for it, is this, like, this whole destructible environment. And I thought it would be present during, like, kind of a co-op stuff, but it sounds like it's just multiplayer. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Because that's the one game everybody wants to know, like Crackdown 3. So there's a lot of people divided about the game. But you guys both said, and you're not the only ones to say this, like, no, it plays extremely well, right? It may not look the best, but it still plays like a Crackdown game, right? Like Crackdown 1, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we weren't the only one. I mean, Vendetta and Gopher also played it. Gopher's slack ass isn't here, of course, but I mean, they both liked it as well. I mean, we were 4 for 4 for all, thinking like that was fun. That was cool,
Yeah, fucking Gopher. Wasn't Gopher on your shit list just the other day? He's still on your shit list. Now he's on the top of my shit list.
Yeah, that's slack ass.
He owes me.
God.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So what else was that? What else was at the event? Besides Crackdown, a whole bunch of other games.
Sea of Thieves, Assassin's Creed Origins,
PUBG,
which I got to play that.
Oh, you played Origins? How was that?
Yeah, the wait for it was awful, but yeah, when I got to play it, it was cool.
Wait, I mean, how awful? I mean, are we talking awful like Tuesday
awful
when you went
because
to the show,
there was no structure.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it was just like, let's all crowd around, and then the Ubisoft person just like, all right, who's next? Not paying attention to any type of line, and so it's like I just watched like 5 people, get picked basically. But whatever. When I played it though, it was cool. I thought the game looked really good. The combat is very different than how it is in the last couple of Assassin's Creed games. You know how it's always been like you can kill one guy and then kind of flow a kill into a couple more, like one at a time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's gone.
Okay.
Which, it's a little OP, sure, but I always thought that made for fun gameplay. Like, you can go up against 10 guys and kill them by doing that. I always thought it made it a little fun, but whatever. So that's gone. and they replaced it with this more like skillful. People have compared it to Dark Souls. I've never played Dark Souls, so I can't really say that, but yeah, people compare it to Dark Souls where it's like slower attacks, counters, like a dodge roll to the left or right. And I mean, I thought it was pretty brutal. Like I was fighting two guys and I was having a little bit of trouble killing them. Like it's not, in the other Assassin's Creed games, like two guys or whatever, bam, bam, they're dead. But in this one, it's like you got to take your time. The guy has like a shield and a spear, so he's doing long swings with the spear at range and then blocking with the shield. So it's going to be different, and there's a lot of RPG elements in terms of like the skill tree. They brought some elements in from like Far Cry Primal with the eagle, using that as your kind of scouting tool.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that
Did you mess?
I think they said they got rid of towers, and like you kind of use the eagle now instead of towers. Maybe that's not right. Maybe I'm thinking Far Cry.
So are you definitely interested in playing the game when it comes out?
I was glad they took the year off because I was getting really tired of Assassin's Creed. What was it? Unity, I hated, and then I didn't think Syndicate was much better. And so after Syndicate, I was basically done with Assassin's Creed. And I wasn't a huge fan of Black Flag before Unity either. So it was kind of like 3 duds in a row for me. And so yeah, that year off, which in terms of playing, that really means 2 years off by the time you actually get your hands on Origins. And I really like the Egyptian setting, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot.
In the demo, did you mess with the bow and arrow at all? Because that seemed pretty cool in what they showed.
No, that was a skill that wasn't unlocked. Like when you start out the demo, so you would have had to like play enough to get an upgrade point and then unlock that, which I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could stand there and use it, but none of the little like tracking arrow or like slow-mo in midair, none of that. I didn't get to use that.
You also played PUBG too.
Yeah, I played one quick round of PUBG with all these guys standing right behind me, and I died in like 2.5 minutes.
Like Ybarra looked like he was a proud papa. He's like, "Yes, my son is playing."
Yeah, but see, I don't play with mouse and keyboard. I'm a controller guy. And that game, playing it that early, they just announced it. It's not tuned for Xbox at all, right? It was basically the console. I mean, it was the PC version with a controller plugged in, and
well, yeah, you were straight up playing the PC version.
Yeah, it wasn't even button mapped, let alone like sensitivity and stuff like that tuned for controller. Like when you first start off and you're in the plane, you have to eject. It's like press F to eject, and I'm like, which button's F? I'm just like pressing every button, so I eject. But yeah, it was. I mean, I'm really looking forward to that game. I love this battle royale. I love the idea. We had this talk.
Game. We had this talk yesterday. And you're like, man, I really got to build a PC. They have all the games I want because you're really into that survival battle royale type stuff, which are
it's a good thing. Xbox is doing the early access model on their console compared to like PlayStation, who doesn't have one like that, because a lot of those games, like the survival games like Conan Exiles, Ark, Rust, and all of these battle royale games like H1Z1, PUBG, the Culling just came out on. Like I'm really into those style of games, so I'm looking forward to when PUBG officially launches. Even if it's game preview, I'll be all over it.
Yeah. Well, what'd you think of the Culling? Because you played it recently. Not your bag though.
Not a big fan. Not a big fan. And it's because of the melee base. I'm not a fan of the melee combat. I'd much prefer something like PUBG where it's all about guns. I'm a shooter. I don't want a big melee fight.
So did you play anything else that was there, or was that your list for that show?
No, those are only 3: Crackdown, Assassin's Creed, and PUBG.
And DOA, you didn't play shit.
That night, all I played was Crackdown because I went to that 4K like presentation. That was what I was kind of talking about earlier, where me, Tim, and Jeremy, because I was in like the 930 group and they were too, and we went up and like saw a bunch of the stuff in 4K, like Gears of War 4 and Minecraft and Forza 7, and they also had it in Dolby Atmos. It was a pretty nice little presentation. And then after, that's when I got that pin, the Scorpio chip with our gamer tags engraved. But I was up there for a while, and by the time I came down, they had already finished Assassin's Creed, and Like I just went over and was like talking to Mike and everything and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you got Mike let you guys up on the stage to take the picture, spawn point, because all the people are in spawn point except Inferno was in the picture, but he's not in spawn point. So,
yeah. I'll repost a couple of those pictures on my Twitter and actually tag people in them. I noticed earlier in the chat, I think Magnetron was asking about, did I meet Magic? And I'm actually almost positive there's a picture of like me, Magic, Vendetta, Gopher, Magnetron, Inferno, Jeremy, and Tim, like all in a picture by the bar and stuff. I'll post some of that stuff back up with the tags this time. So.
Midnight Eric wants to know if you guys played as Doc Cupcake in Crackdown.
No, I didn't.
DOA didn't either. So what other games were playable there? So you mentioned the ones you guys did play.
Super Lucky Tale was there.
Minecraft.
Super Lucky Tale was there.
There was Minecraft over there by PUBG.
Well, yeah, remember for some weird reason they had Halo Wars 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Halo Wars 2.
They also had some random indie games. I don't remember the names of all of them. Like, I wasn't Ashen there, I want to say, or something like that, whatever that game's
Ashen
called.
was there. Gopher played that. People have been saying that that's really good. If you're into, like, Dark Souls style combat, people are saying Ashen is really good. I've heard that from a lot of people now that E3's.
Yeah, I've been told that it's Inside meets Dark Souls, kind of, which piques my interest greatly. Super Lucky's Tales, though, like people that played it says actually good. Like I know when
Maka was highly recommending it to us. I just didn't have time to play it, but he was like, "Oh, you should go play that. That was surprisingly good." But you see that
on the big screen, and you're just like, like I don't know, but it's like Fox. But what I mean, well, it comes out November 7th. But
it's a Fox. I mean, I thought it was Conquer for sure. Once like the orange tail kind of flashed by right at the very.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he's like, "It's Conquer." I was like, "I don't know." I would have been in heaven if it was Conquer too, but no dice.
So you got to take the picture on stage, and I'll have your guys' Twitter linked in the description after the show's over, so people can check that out and want to follow you if they want. But got to take the picture with Mike, got to talk to him for a while, and then it was over, right? Like everybody had to leave, open bar.
Yep.
Shut down. What'd you guys do? Just go back to the hotel?
Shut the bar down early. Remember that, Magic? There was a whole thing where the guy got on the loudspeaker. I don't remember exactly why, but they had to shut the bar down at like 11.
There was this girl who was DJing through that entire event too. Who was like way up high on this podium, and she was just jamming the entire time by herself. It was kind of funny.
So wait, you guys did say Minecraft was there. Were they running that the 4K super duper graphics pack?
I didn't honestly look at it. I just saw the units playing it.
But I know, Magic, I think you said last night that you saw it. Like, you didn't play it, but you saw it being played or something, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's because it was right next to PUBG. So when I was kind of in line waiting for PUBG, it was right there. I wasn't paying too much close attention to it, though. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's like how I remember Halo Wars 2 was there because it was right behind Crackdown. So like while I was waiting for my turn in Crackdown, it's like, all right, why is this here? That's weird. Like a whole row of fucking Halo Wars 2. Like, all right, whatever.
Well, before we actually get into the E3 thing, Mr. Titan X says, do you think Crackdown 3 will fail since it's coming out between Call of Duty World War II and Battlefront 2?
Normally I would say yes, but with the X coming out, it's hard to say. I feel like it could go either way. A lot of people, will get their X and they want a game that's going to run properly on it. So, I mean, you're basically launching a system, and that's one of the games to launch with it. I mean, normally, if it was just Crackdown 3 without a new system, then yeah, I'd be like, y'all are idiots for bringing it out in the middle of all these juggernauts. But with a new system, it might actually do okay. So we'll see.
What do you think, Magic?
It's hard to say, man. It's as of right now, it's a crowded fall. There's going to be a lot of games that slip through the cracks just because of bad timing, of not a great release date. Because I mean, it's so packed. There's going to be a lot of games that, Shadow of Mordor and Evil Within and and Forza and South Park and
Wolfenstein,
Assassin's Creed and Destiny and
hell, we even got a Dishonored spin-off.
And Battlefront, it's like that. Some games aren't selling. They can't all sell amazingly well. Something's got to give.
Yeah, Titanfall 2 learned that the hard that lesson the hard way last year, and same thing with like Dishonored 2 and Watch Dogs 2. So
Oh yeah, and poor Sunset Overdrive the year before.
yeah, I think Crackdown 3 will do fine. Like DOA said, it's basically a launch game for the system. I'm assuming a lot of people will pick up the game to go along with it, and what if they have the Halo 6 beta on it too? You know?
Oh God.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Although it probably won't happen. But all right. So then Tuesday. So you guys had 2 kind of full days before the show floor even opened up on Tuesday.
That's right.
Talk about that. Talk about the Sea of Humanity that you guys had to wade through.
So what was the time that it opened, DOA? Do you remember on Tuesday? Did it open at?
It opened at noon, and we got there at 10. But Vendetta and I think Riot had gotten there actually at 9:30, so we just kind of jumped in with them. So for all intents and purposes, we were there 2.5 hours before it opened. You should quickly also ask Magic how many games he played the first day of the actual E3.
Why do we gotta do it quickly?
Because it's a quick answer. As I recall, you played nothing.
Yeah, no, I didn't play anything the first day. Well, okay, so let's go through. So we had shitty breakfast at McDonald's at like 8:30 in the morning.
Why'd you guys go to McDonald's?
Because
one of the things you were looking forward to.
Because it was literally down the street from our hotel, and we wanted to get there early, and we got there 2 hours early. But you know, it's E3, man. It's nerds. Nerds are everywhere out at E3, and nerds get to lines early as shit. So we get there 2 hours early. The line was already huge. And man, if you go to E3 next year, go with some friends and skip the lines with your friends, because everyone else is going to be doing it, and the place is not organized enough where even if you don't skip lines, like you're probably still going to accidentally cut in front of someone.
Well, they're talking about
so many people get pushed up against each other, and like I remember, like we were waiting in line, right? And then once kind of the doors started to flood in, like the door to the LA Convention Center, at least on the south entrance, like if you walk straight out from there, you hit the corner of the street, right? Like right where the light is. So people are walking right onto that street and going straight into the door, whereas we were like down the street going the other way, waiting in line. So by the time it was like time to go up to the door, people were just walking right off the street and walking like right next to us. Like we've been here for 2 hours and they just like walked up out of nowhere and just walked right in, basically. They're in the same spot we were. So yeah, skip lines because everyone else is doing it.
Fuck lines is what Magic's saying. I did see that they might be considering like industry days and consumer days next year. Which
I was talking to Mock about that. They need to do something like that because there is, I think they said 70,000 people this year, 15,000 consumer tickets. I don't know what's the split between like industry and press. That'd be interesting to know. But there needs to be some way where if you're a paying customer, you know, you pay $250 to be there for your 3-day pass, and you're waiting in line for a game for 2.5 hours. It kind of sucks when a media guy walks up and says, "I have an appointment, excuse me," and sits down and sets up his capture card for 10 minutes and then is ready to go.
Well,
Yeah, fine, but it's like, but you're making my line take longer, right? You should go do that somewhere else. Like, don't, you know, I'm not even mad that it's like, oh, they get to cut in head, but it's more of like, I've been here for 2.5 hours, and now you're going to make me wait another like 20 minutes because you're media, basically. No other reason. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I'd rather have it where either the 15,000 people have like a day or two to themselves, or maybe they extend the hours. So you do 6 hours and then like the consumers get like 3 hours at the end of the day to themselves. Something, man. It needs to be split up a little bit. You know, or like I know when Maka went, I mean, it seemed like he wasn't waiting in lines at all. He was just going from meeting to meeting, like scheduled appointment to scheduled appointment. So I don't know. Maybe there's a lot more industry people that.
Now, DOA said that you ditched them though. You all ditched them.
Everybody.
Well, yeah. Well, but see, that's kind of the thing I was talking about, where there's so many people that the organizers just can't have like a perfect line system, because the Activision booth was right there when you walked in on the left, and it was Call of Duty and Destiny. And we walked in an entire circle around their booth to try and find the start of the line, and we ended up back at the beginning, and he's like, "Oh, the line's right here," and the guy was like, "What did he say, DOA? Oh, we're
Well,
at
they said
full
the line was
capacity."
already cut off. Yeah, and this was the reserve line. Like there was already people like kind of formed this kind of like impromptu reserve line, and so I just gotten that, but
Well, yeah, but my
the
thing
line
was,
was
he was like,
huge, and they were
he was
just
like,
everybody's like, "Fuck
the
that."
guy's like, "We're at full capacity," and I'm like, "Well, what are you gonna let them play an hour-long match each? Like, what do you mean full capacity? The door's just open. You play one game and you get out. How are you at full capacity already?" And the dude just like had no clue. So I was just like, whatever. And Gopher and Maka or no, Gopher and V and Riot all went off to get some steel book, and I was just like, whatever. I'll see you later, DOA, and went and did something else. And DOA got in line and played him some Destiny. Boy, he had to wait what?
So we
3
have
hours?
we have a quick question that you guys can answer this from 47766TL. He says he's turning 21 this fall and he really wants to go to FanFest next year, E3, but he doesn't know if it's worth it if none of his friends are interested in the lines being that long. What do you guys think?
That's tough, man. I would say it depends how talkative of a person you are, like to make friends with people around you, because you better be making some friends with the person in front of you, person behind you, because it's going to be a boring 3 hours if you're not talking to anybody.
That's how it was for Destiny for me. I just started talking to one of the guys next to me in line, and we just kind of shot the shit. But
Look,
yeah,
I
that
am
was like
DOA.
a
You may
3
know
hour
me. I
and
played
15
10,000 hours of Destiny.
Well, yeah, see,
I may have played with you.
I'm not really like that. So when I left DOA, I went to go stand in line for Wolfenstein, and so I was there for about, I think, an hour or so. And I asked the guy, like, what's the idea for the wait? And he's like, oh, maybe, or I think I was there for a half an hour. And he was like, oh, maybe 3 hours. And I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. Because I was just sitting there by myself because DOA was at Destiny and they were all off doing whatever. And yeah, no, I would try and go with at least one other friend and pick some games you guys can get in line with together. Because it was much more tolerable when the second day me and DOA lined up for Far Cry, and we were in the line together.
Well, we went straight to Wolfenstein the next day, and the line was better. We only had to wait like 30 minutes to play Wolfenstein 2.
Well, how was Destiny 2, DOA? You played it. You're the big Destiny man.
Well, yeah,
Tell the people your stats of Destiny 1 before you get into what you think of Destiny 2.
What are we considering a stat? Just my time
I
played?
don't know. Tell them how many hours you played it.
Well, it's 5,000 plus. I've been playing it a lot.
5,000 plus hours.
Since day one. Even played the beta a little bit, although I only played.
How many of the weapons do you have?
I mean, I don't even have. There's no real answer to that. I mean,
you have all the weapons in the game.
You can't have all the weapons.
I mean, like all the
I have all exotics unlocked. Period. I have all the weapons that matter. I have
what's
all
the Grimar score? Max Grimar score. Oh baby. So they know that you're
which on Xbox is 5570, I guess.
50 females off the top of his head, Magic. 55.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, it's been the same for months. The number hasn't moved. I've had Max Grimar since like Christmas or something.
So what do you think of Destiny 2 since you waited 3 hours to play it?
Well, there were 3 demos there. The Activision booth was the multiplayer demo, which was anyway, and it was the one I wanted to play the most conveniently. And we got to play the new, I can't remember the name of the game type, but it's that new like basically bomb disposal game type where you play rounds, and one round you're defending the bomb, and the next round you're trying to set the bomb and blow it up. And it was fun. I played on Titan. The booths were kind of pre-set up. Like when you sat down, you couldn't really pick a character. It's like you sit down this chair, you're in the Titan chair basically, and that's just kind of where I ended up. I would have actually rather played Warlock, but just kind of take what you get. And so I got to use the new Smash Power, where the Smash Power was in Destiny 1, but they've got this new revised version where it's like you smash multiple times. And I got to play with some of the new guns, like the new grenade launcher and SMG. Although the people we were playing against were playing it so far back, I couldn't really use the SMG. I put it on for a minute, and I was like, nope, this ain't going to fly. I need a scout rifle. They're playing way too far back. I need something with some distance. But, it was good. There was also, like, at PlayStation, they had the Strike demo, but PlayStation only did their shit by appointments, and as Magic can confirm, those appointments were impossible to get. Like, the second they went up, they were all gone. And then they had the mission of the single player was at the NVIDIA booth for PC only, but I don't rock PC, so I didn't care about that. It's like no keyboard and mouse for this guy.
So if
but yeah, it was
anybody
great.
wants
Got
to,
my T-shirt after my 3.5 hour wait.
so if anybody wants to, if you need help running through Destiny, message DOA on Xbox,
Or you don't have to message me. It's okay.
Well, no, he'll take anybody through. That's what he loves to do. He loves to help people get all the achievements in Destiny and get them raid ready and stuff.
Well, you're trying to send new people my way, but what about you, Slacker? You still got some achievements to shut down.
Achievements? Who cares?
Who cares about achievements? The guy who calls himself the man with a million. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a tagline.
The man with who cares.
Yeah.
The man with a million pointless achievements.
Yeah. No, so that first day,
I don't have a million achievements, but
that first day after I gave up on Wolfenstein, I basically just walked around the South Hall, looked at the Xbox booth, looked at Activision, some little smaller stands that had like DX Racer and like some VR games set up, and went over to the West Hall, looked at the PlayStation booth, the Nintendo booth. Nintendo was packed, man, packed. That thing was huge.
People wanted to play Super Mario Odyssey, man.
Yeah. And like you said, PlayStation, it was all scheduled appointments through the app. But they had a really big booth too. And then there was like this outside area for
Destiny,
a bunch of food trucks, and that Twitch had like a really cool setup where I think it was called like Twitch Coliseum or something like that, where they had like Tekken and Street Fighter like esports players coming out there and playing against each other, and they had these two, I never heard of them, but apparently like pretty big shoutcasters for fighting games that were there. And like a whole bunch
Not
of
the shoutcaster from the Darwin Project.
No, not him. Golden Boy was there too. It was a pretty cool setup. Like right in the center of LA Live, which is down the street from the convention center.
Yeah, I've been to LA Live. I think we went to eat at that Mexican restaurant that's there. I think you guys went to, right?
Yeah.
That was good food. I think I went to another restaurant there too. But yeah, so you didn't play shit that first day. DOA only played Destiny 2, but you went back the next day and there were less people there, right?
Yeah, we played more.
Well,
especially Magic.
What do you think there was less people? Well, we were definitely in the near the front of the line.
There was less people the second the doors opened.
Yeah, that's true.
It got going, it felt like it was just as big as the day before. But like that first day, tons of people showed up hours and hours before the doors even opened. The second day, we got there like how early? Maybe an hour. Yeah. And like we were way closer to the door. I mean, we were like right at the door and shit. So, people didn't show up as early.
Yeah, so we ran straight to Wolfenstein. DOA's crack head went to go smoke. And then we're like, all right, opening the doors. I'm texting DOA like, we're going in, and he's outside smoking.
Well, that's because I opened the doors early, though. To be fair.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it was like 11:40, I want to say, or something. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go smoke before they unleash us. And I'm out there, and I'd actually finished my cigarette. I was already starting to walk back, and he's like, line's moving. Like, fuck. They had opened the doors 15 minutes early. It's like, you assholes.
Yeah, we got to play Wolfenstein, which was cool. The opening to it, they probably had the best booth setup for a game. Yeah, it was really cool. It's like in an old style diner where they had monitors on like the tables and on the bar. It was really cool. Then you got a little like milkshake, whatever that thing was.
Strawberry milkshake. Yeah, they made everybody strawberry milkshakes when you were done playing the demo. And that milkshake was good as fuck too.
Yeah. And then
back and play it again.
Well, DOA was saying like the first level you play like you're in a wheelchair or some shit.
Yeah, because like the first game, I can't remember if it was the first one or the Old Blood, but like a nuke goes off, and so at the start of this game, you're injured, and you can't really walk or move around yet, so you're in a wheelchair, and you have a gun with you. You kind of just sit it on your lap. So you're wheeling yourself around, then a guy comes around the corner, you pick up the gun off your lap, shoot him, put it back down your lap, keep wheeling forward. It was really cool. They had some interesting mechanics with that. You know, it's basically the very beginning of the game, very beginning of the campaign. But yeah, that second day, I made sure I got some games in. I played that Dragon Ball Fighters. That was cool.
Yeah,
that game looked pretty ridiculous.
The guy I played against too was like a writer for this like fighting website, like fighting game website, and the dude used to like work at Evo, so he was super good, but he was
Did you beat his ass?
I did beat him, but he was like, it wasn't because he was trying. He just wanted to see what the game offered. You know, he was just like testing things out. Where I'm too competitive. I wanted to win, so I won. But it was because he was just messing around, looking at everything. And then I played that new indie game, Ooblets, I believe it's pronounced.
Ooblets.
That was interesting. I think that's a game I'll probably get hooked into. If you like, like Pokemon or Harvest Moon or, Stardew Valley kind of games like that, you'll probably be interested in that one. What else and then we got in line for Far Cry. We were probably in that line for a good couple hours, huh?
No, it was an hour and a half. I timed it. They actually told us it was going to be like 2.5 hours, but it ended up only taking an hour and a half. And I enjoyed that demo quite a bit. Oh, real quick before we say anything else, somebody in chat was telling me that mode is called Eliminator. It is not. I knew that was wrong. It was. I finally looked it up. That mode was called Countdown.
Countdown.
Yeah.
So how was Far Cry 5? I know, because we're all like, when you come to, it's pretty divisive here, because Magic will say that the best Far Cry is Far Cry 2. I'll say the best Far Cry is Far Cry 3. DOA, I think you're with me, right? Far Cry 3 is the best Far Cry.
I liked all of them. 4 was probably the weakest just because it felt like a repeat of 3. But I mean, I love the original. I love Predator. If anybody for the 5 people who played Predator, I loved Far Cry 2. I loved Far Cry 3. I love Blood Dragon. Blood Dragon was brilliant.
Yes, Blood Dragon is pretty awesome.
So, I mean, 4 was the weakest. 5 is looking really nice, though. I really liked the setting, that like modern Western Montana. It looked great. Just was kind of like.
I also played Primal. Did you play Primal, Rand?
I own Primal, but I have not played Primal.
Okay, because DOA hasn't either, and I thought Primal was good. But yeah, Far Cry 2 is still my favorite. But see, I'm not big into story. And the setting of Far Cry 5 really only affects story. It doesn't affect gameplay too much. Like Primal affected gameplay. Using bow and arrow, using spears, using sticks and stones. You know what I mean? There's saber-toothed tigers running around. Like that affected gameplay. With Montana, like you could flip that out for any city, and it's still the same exact gameplay. That's more of a story thing, and I'm just gameplay over story for me. So it wasn't a huge, big deal for me for Far Cry 5.
Well, I think DOA, you said you liked it quite a bit, though, right? The demo or short demo?
The demo was really short. Yeah, you had 10 minutes, and it was basically just like a little town square area that you were supposed to clear out. That was like the whole point of the demo. Was basically killer. But in fact, it was so short that basically
I did it 3 times. I blitzed it so fast that first time. I was like, "Wait, that's it?" And the dude was like, "Oh, you're already done. You can go. You have time to go through it again." And I'm like, "Yeah, you think I did it in like a minute and a half?" Like, what do you mean? We had 10 minutes. I probably did it in 2 on my first run.
Yeah. Although from the beginning, you got to like pick your buddy basically. So Magic, I think, got to try like all the buddies. There was one that was like the guy, I don't know his name, but he was like on a plane overhead that would kind of fly over you and like drop bombs and shoot at people. And you could pick the dog, grab anybody that was near, but you could also tell him to attack people with like the D-pad and stuff. I used the dog and the guy in the plane. I didn't use the girl. Did you use the girl, Magic, since you played it multiple times?
Yeah, I used her, and I put her up in like that water tower. She's a sniper, so as long as she has line of sight, she'll just start sniping people.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun for what it was. Like I said, the demo was really short. It was like kill about 15 guys in this town square, and it was like, oh, you win, game over.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is it still day 1 buy for you guys when it comes out next year?
Far Cry? What? Far Cry?
Far Cry 5, yeah.
What do you mean still? I never said it was.
Well, Yeah, I mean,
Is it a day one buy for you?
I mean, Megan's gonna
Plain
get the
and
game,
simple.
and you're gonna play it. I mean, I don't
I
necessarily.
don't know. It depends how bored I am. Depends what else comes out around there.
In February, or probably not much.
Yeah, I would
Shit.
say
Have
for
you
me,
looked?
I'll
There's a
probably.
lot of stuff.
I mean, yeah, I guess
Spring next year. Yeah.
God of War, right? Because that's supposed to be coming around then.
Well,
who
yeah.
cares
If I
about
have a PlayStation, I don't know if I will.
What'd you say, DOA?
that? I said, yeah, but who cares about that?
I care about that because God of War looks awesome. I want to play that. I don't know though. If it was Far Cry 5 or God of War, I don't know what I would choose, to be honest with you there, because I do love me some Far Cry,
I'm pretty
and
excited.
God of War
for it.
does
I
like.
think
I'll
I'm
play both of
definitely-
them. I don't know which one I played first though.
And the last one we played was Lawbreakers.
Cliffy B, the Cliffy B game. How was it?
Yep.
Was it cool?
I thought it was cool, but one concern that I think Maka mentioned that I agree with is because people like to compare it to Overwatch, but the difference with Overwatch is when you see a character, you instantly know what his capabilities are, right? Like you see Winston. I don't know if you played, people have played Overwatch, you know what I'm talking about. You see Winston, who's like the gorilla. You instantly know, okay, he has this gun, he can jump, he can do the primal rage. Like, you know everything he can do just by looking at him. Whereas with Lawbreakers, the characters look so similar, you'd have to play the game a lot to be able to instantly recognize what that character can do. Because they all have their own guns and abilities, same way, but they all kind of look like Unreal character number 1, Unreal character number 2. You know what I mean? In terms of like Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, well, that's Cliff.
Especially from a distance. Like, it's one thing if you're right up in the guy's face, like, yeah, okay, now you can see what he does, but from a distance, it's really hard to tell. But the game played good, though. The anti-gravity stuff is really cool. Like, when you're jumping
We
around
won
in
our game.
anti-gravity and you can double jump. Oh, yeah, we won. It was like a neutral bomb kind of game, like neutral flag. And you capped one, and I capped one as well.
Yeah, I think we won 3-1. I want to say our game was actually pretty slow. I remember watching people. Obviously, we're watching as we're waiting in line, and a lot of those games were going fast because it was up to 6 rounds or something, or 7, or something like that. But our game, like we actually had a pretty good game where people were having trouble scoring.
I had 2 clutch kills, man, where I killed the flag carrier like feet away from capturing it, and then we picked it up and ran it the other way.
Yeah, were you guys playing this on PlayStation or on PC?
PlayStation. They had like 2 stations for PlayStation and 1 for PC.
And DOA, you didn't like burn when touching the PlayStation controller?
Oh wow!
And, like,
I'm already
burn
used
up?
to it by then. I had to play Destiny 2 on PlayStation. We had to play Far Cry on PlayStation. Now Wolfenstein 2, that was on Xbox, thank God. So that's probably why
Far
it
Cry
was
felt weird too with the recoil, man. That wasn't just me, right? I remember you said that too.
Yeah, the guns were very violent. Like you started shooting a machine gun, and the rattle was
flying
intense.
here. Yeah.
Probably like a real machine gun. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's not smooth at all.
I
Although it didn't bother me. I liked the fact that the guns felt weighty and
Mhm.
to them. I actually kind of liked that, but teach their own.
So is that pretty much it though from the games you guys got to play?
Yeah.
That was all.
Yeah, after that it was a big mess getting back to the hotel and then to the airport. Like we pretty much left E3 and we went to eat and went back to pick up our bags, and that was it. We were off that night.
It was
So,
fun. I think
Lawbreakers was the last
it was
thing.
worth it. I would do it again. Maybe not next year. See, I don't know if I'd want to go every year. Like some people.
I mean, this was the first year they opened it up for consumers, but obviously, I mean, if you're media, I guess that's more of your job. I guess so more towards for industry people, like if they're just choosing to go every year. I wouldn't want to go every year. I'd go every few years, like maybe once every 3 or 4. It's a lot. It's draining. I can see why people talk about like media coming back and they're dead tired. It's like, yeah, you had to do everything I did plus go write about everything you saw afterwards and make videos. Like, yeah, screw that.
And they probably played a lot more than we did. I mean, I only played 5 games, and you played like.
True.
Well, when you
7
guys
or 8.
decided to go, I remember I was always telling you, like, fuck the show floor. Like, you'll get everything you guys want to do out of FanFest. Essentially, I mean, because I went last year, and I was like, all right, when we were thinking about going this year, I was like, well, I couldn't because I had that, the flooding or whatever. But, like, if I could have gone, I would have flown out there Saturday been there Sunday for the conference and all that stuff, gone to the Monday event, and I would have left Tuesday. I wouldn't even have bothered going to the show floor.
No, yeah, but you went though once. If you're going,
yeah, I went once.
You have to go to the show floor at least once. Maybe in the next. And like it's 3 days, so maybe the first time you go for all 3 days. Maybe the next time you only do 2. We only did 2 this time, but that was money on hotel, and an extra night costs another couple $100. But
that is true.
Well, the other thing for me, Rand, versus you is like you're like I got to play everything last year. I'm like, but for me, the top 3, only one of the top 3 games I wanted to play was at the Xbox Fanfest, which was Crackdown.
Right, but I mean, you'll be able to play Destiny. But you'll be able to play Destiny in a month.
Yeah, but I wanted to play it there. It was a big deal. Plus, I wanted to see whatever like you got. I was kind of hoping you'd get like an emblem or something, but I got my T-shirt. I don't if I play in a month. T-shirt.
Maka overhyped us on the swag. I was expecting to just like walk down an aisle and just be like, "Oh, thank you. Yes, I will. Thank you." And outside of the FanFest stuff, I maybe got like 4 things out of those 2 days, like a shirt from. We didn't get anything from Far Cry. We got the milkshake from Wolfenstein, which was cool, but nothing to take home. The Xbox booth weren't giving stuff out like that. Like maybe you'd have to go talk to someone, but after you play the game, it was just like, all right, see you later.
Right.
Yeah, I was overhyped.
Yeah, there was literally nothing for Far Cry. It was just like, oh, later. Like, all right. And Wolfenstein, we got a milkshake, which is awesome, but it's not exactly.
There's an enthusiastic press person who wanted me to scream into the camera saying how much I love the game. And I was like, no, thank you.
Like you got the wrong person for that.
But she grabbed the guy like right behind me, and they interviewed him.
Now, would you now that you've done E3, what about something like PAX? Like Sajibot says, sounds like PAX may be more fun to go to. And I know you recently bought a day one for PAX West.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been to PAX. And DOA, you haven't either, right?
I haven't been to it either.
So, I mean, none of us can compare it, but I'm going to go to PAX this year because I'll be out in that Seattle area around that time, PAX West. I bought a 1-day pass for Saturday only. But yeah, I mean, I'm expecting it to not be too different though. I mean, PAX is completely open to the public. They have tons of games. I mean, I'm sure it'll be just as crowded, decent lines still. But we'll see. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I want to check it out at least once.
I know you got to get going, so we're gonna end up the show here real fast. Final thoughts, DOA E3 experience. Was it all worth it, and would you do it again?
Oh, it was definitely worth it. But not just for the games. For me, it was a big deal to hang out with a bunch of my friends. Unfortunately, Rand wasn't there. But I had met Magic previously because he came down to North Carolina for a couple weeks, 2 years ago, when I was still in North Carolina. But it was my first time getting to hang out and meet in person. I mean, like Gopher and Vendetta and Riot and obviously Mike and James and various other people, Tim, Jeremy, there's other people I'm not naming. But yeah, like it was really great to get to meet everybody, hang everybody. Maka also. Was just that.
Well, that's like, I mean, for me last year, doing the million was great, but like what I remember most wasn't the games I played. It was like the people I got to hang out with. I got to meet Beard. I got to go out to dinner with Mike Ibarra. I got to hang with Phil Spencer and talk to him for an hour. And, I got to hang out with the TXR crew, like South, Jeremy, like meeting people and hanging out with them and forming those relationships, like with Megatron, and all those guys. Like that's what it's all about to me. Like the games, like yeah, they'll come, but like it's the friendships are what's important. So
yeah, that's why I was so disappointed you didn't go.
Well, you could have paid for me, Mr. Moneybags.
Oh shit! Well, I mean, my 2 best friends alive are Magic and Rand, and I got Magic, which was great, but no Rand.
Yeah. Magic, final thoughts, and would you do it all again?
I'm the same way. I think it was well worth it. It helped that we got into a couple extra events like FanFest and Bethesda. But yeah, I mean, just getting to meet everybody, hang out with everyone, play some new and just announced games. I mean, it's great energy out there at E3. Like I said, the guy at FanFest to just the craziness of the show floor. I think it was definitely worth it. I would go again. But like I said, I wouldn't go again next year. You know, I'd wait a few years. I wouldn't want to experience it every year in a row. It was very tiring. I was dead tired by the time I got home.
Dead tired. Yeah, you were dead tired. So DOA, let the people know. I'll have your Twitter link in the description, but if you want to give a shout out to your Twitter, you better not say I don't give a fuck like you did last time.
I won't.
TXR.
I won't. To any people that were here for that show, I apologize. That was a bad inside joke that didn't go over well for anybody but Magic. He was the only person who laughed. But yeah, my Twitter handle is @DOAHead, no space, just DOA, and head is spelled HED, so DOAHED. And I'll repost up with links some of the E3 pictures again.
Yeah, if you want to see DOA's cool custom controller, one of 1,000 that he got from E3, as well as some pictures with a lot of Mike Ibarra and a few other people at Xbox. Check that out. Magic, what's your Twitter at so these people can check you out?
At Mr. Black Magic, no spaces, obviously. Magic with a K. I just posted in chat as well. And yeah, that's pretty much the only social media account I use. And I have a pinned tweet of an event, or no, what's it called on Twitter? The moments. That's it. I have a pinned moment where I tagged all my E3 tweets and pictures and the pictures that DOA was posting. Man, if you go get a phone with a good battery and get a charger they can put in your pocket, because boy, was I not prepared for that. My phone was dead the entire time and my memory was full. Had to have DOA take some pictures for me.
Shit. And in a couple weeks, we're going to be losing Magic. He's going off to work at Xbox in an internship. So this might be the last time you hear Magic on a podcast with us for a long time. So
Yep.
That is going to be pretty awesome, though. So thanks for coming on, guys. I wanted to do this last week, but I wasn't sure. And you know what? A big fuck you to Love Boat Gopher.
Yeah, I thought he would jump in the middle sometime, but
I know. A big fuck you to Love Boat Gopher. But thanks, guys, for hanging out with us on this impromptu podcast. Saji Bot, Craig Harris, Mr. 47, OBJ, Fonz. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all the support, checking out the show. Make sure everybody out there, if you like the podcast, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Check these awesome dudes out on Twitter. And I'll see you later. Have a good one.
Later.